Well, everyone, thanks for showing up. Always good to be with you. A number of years ago, I presented a retreat at a small island off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia. And this island was a host of a retreat center. It's a kind of a YMCA rustic camp. And there was only one other person on the island with us, a fellow named Dave, who was the caretaker for this retreat site. And as our retreat was going on over the week, Dave kept coming in and out of the meeting room and disturbing us and making noise and opening the door and talking to us. And we tried to ask him to please respect the space, but he didn't. So finally, we invited him to come be a part of our group, which he obviously wanted to do. And he shared a very sorrowful story that a few years earlier, his wife and young daughter had been killed in a car crash. And he was on this island by himself, essentially regrouping and healing. And the connection he felt with our group and the support that everybody showed him was really, really healing for him. And he broke down and he received lots of love. It was a very healing time for him. And I'll never forget the day we left the retreat. We all jumped onto this boat and took off from this pier. And there was Dave standing on the pier, waving, waving, waving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we were going away farther and farther, his image got smaller and smaller, but there he was waving, waving, waving. I'll never forget that. And this experience proved to me a very key concept from A Course in Miracles, that every human expression is either a call for love or an expression of love. It's either a pure expression of love or an unskillful call for love. And we have to reinterpret unkind actions as somebody's emptiness that's seeking to be filled with love. Now, a friend of mine told me a similar story. He had been dating a woman for a short time in New York City, and he decided they weren't quite a match, so he discontinued seeing her. But she was really persistent and somewhat aggressive, and so she would call him at all hours of the day and night, and he was dating somebody else by that time, and this other woman came and saw him with this woman in the lobby of his apartment house, and she went at this woman. It was kind of a uncomfortable scene for everybody. And this woman called him at 2 a.m. And so he took his phone off the hook. This was pre-cell phone days. And he was in therapy at the time with a woman who was a Course in Miracles master. And he asked her, what should I do about this woman who's on my case? And the counselor said, pick up the phone. She needs your help. This woman is in great pain. She needs your help. And so that night, he didn't take the phone off the hook. He answered it at 2 a.m. And they began to have a heartfelt conversation, which went on until dawn. And it was their completion and their healing. He remained friends with her over the years, which said that he transformed what the Course calls a special relationship to a holy relationship. So this reframing, this recontextualizing is really such a powerful element to change our experience. So take a moment now to think about anyone in your life that's giving you trouble or a hard time, or that you have a strained relationship with. Maybe somebody's demanding or abusive or mean or unkind in some way, persistent. And while we tend to reject somebody like that, push them away and judge them, what if we reframe them as somebody who was wounded and calling for love? You know, if somebody came to you that had just been knifed and they were aggressive to you, you would understand that they were like an animal that had been wounded and they needed help. You would take them to the doctor, do what you had to do. You wouldn't turn them away because they were in pain. Their pain was causing their aggression. In fact, all aggression is caused only by pain. And you might want to flip that on yourself and look back in your life over the times that you may have done something unkind or rude or aggressive to somebody. We've all done stuff like that. What if that act was more coming out of your pain than than anything else? And what if you made yourself innocent because somebody in pain cannot be judged as much as somebody who's not in pain? Now, you can actually go back and do this with your family if you like. I coach a lot of people who had an abusive father or an abusive mother and had a rough childhood. And I'll ask them, what was your father's father like to your father? Oh, he was a nasty bugger. He was meaner than my father was to me. Let's see, can you see how your father did not have the skills to cope with his father's meanness? And the only way he knew how to father was to mimic his father, and he passed along the pain to you. So if you think of him less as a nasty person or an evil person, and think of him more as somebody who had been hurt, and I often use the expression hurt people, or it takes a victim to make a victim. I'll say to my client, what if you have the golden opportunity to stop that karma from passing down the generations? If you're tempted to be mean to your child or somebody else, remember that hurt people, and if I heal my own heart, I don't have to hurt anybody. So you can see how all human strife is a result of of unconscious people trying to heal themselves in unconscious ways. If I dump my pain on you, I can be free of it. But of course, it never works because you may feel a moment of respite, but then you only drive your pain deeper because pain doesn't go away by dumping it on other people. So if you could take that person who bugs you and reframe them as calling for love, how would you deal with them differently? Would you give them some more time? Would you ask them questions about their life? Would you validate them and say, wow, that was a rough thing you went through. Tell me more about it. I'm so sorry you went through that. And you can literally transform an unhealed relationship by love. There's a wonderful animal communicator. Her name is Anna Breitenbeck. I believe that's how it's pronounced. She's from South Africa. And there's an amazing video about how, it's a YouTube video. It's called something like How Diablo was transformed to spirit. And the story goes that as an animal communicator, a very gifted one, she was called to this animal sanctuary where this Black Panther had been terrorizing everybody. And he actually had attacked the zookeeper, the sanctuary keeper, and sent him to a hospital for the week. And because of his nasty, nasty behavior, they named him Diablo, the devil. And this Anna went in there and communicated with him psychically. And it turns out he was very afraid and alone. And he had been raised with two tiger cubs that she got psychically. He had been raised with two tiger cubs that had been taken away, and he felt alone and wounded and stuffed in this little enclosure. And she just sent him love and talked to his soul. Said, you're going to be okay. You're loved here. It's a safe place. And she told the sanctuary keeper about this experience with the two baby tigers. And the sanctuary said that's exactly what happened. He was moved from a place where he had two siblings, so to speak, and he's removed from them. And she had no way of knowing that. Like the animal told her that psychically. So she taught this zookeeper how to give him love. And the animal was transformed instantly. He had been hiding as an enclosure, and then he got out of it and he was walking around and he was kind. He didn't yell at anybody. He wasn't mean to anybody. Something about receiving love from that woman first, and then the sanctuary keeper after that, healed his soul. His soul was aching. He had a gaping wound in his soul. So the next time you want to think that your uncle or husband or wife or kid or teacher or boss is Diablo, is the devil, they renamed that panther spirit. He became a spiritual being instead of the devil. So this is an extremely practical lesson we can practice anytime doing it. If somebody cuts you off in traffic, or a cashier is sharp with you, or shortchanges you, or somebody argues with you about money, or something petty, if you can just take a moment and breathe and say, wait, this person has obviously had a rough day. Can I breathe with them a little bit? Can I give them a compliment? Can I thank them? Can I just kind of hold my tongue and just let the interaction, the transaction play itself out in a kind way? And then once again, flip it on yourself. Okay, let's say you're short with somebody, you're mean to your kid, or kick this, you do something unkind. Can you say, wait a minute, instead of judging myself or distracting myself or denying myself, let me just take a breath. Let's all do this now. Take a breath and put your hand on your heart and tune in and say, wait a minute, am I feeling frustrated? Am I feeling depleted? Am I feeling unacknowledged or invalidated? And if so, can I just take a few minutes to go within and love myself? Maybe take a walk or watch a funny video or do some yoga or play some music or meditate or do something that fills your soul, because all unkind acts are the result of an unfilled soul. And the good news is that you and I have the power to renew ourselves by giving ourselves the love. If you're demanding love from somebody else, you're setting yourself up for failure, because they may give it, they may not. But if you answer your own call for love with self-love, you become whole and empowered, and your whole heart will now spill over to others, even if you don't say a word. They will catch your energy. They will relax in your presence, like that panther relaxed in Anna's presence. And you will observe literal miracles. People will be changed around you. Situations will be changed around you. Health will change around you and in you. It's an amazing game we have. It's, we complain about life, but it's just a long series of holy opportunities for healing. Before we close, just want to remind you, we did start our Mastery of Spiritual Writing course last Tuesday. There's still 9 more sessions. You can get the recording of the first one if you'd like to join us in the extraordinary course of very cool people who want to become spiritual writers or hone their skills or find more confidence. So if you're started writing and you haven't stopped, you haven't finished, or you'd like to get started and published, we will support you to find all kinds of ways to make your writing come alive in your life. Okay, so we always close with a moment of deep knowing. Thank you, Great Spirit, for this time together. Even though we seem to be, you're watching this video after I've recorded, there's no time difference in God. They're all together in one consciousness at this moment, no matter where or when you are. So we say, thank you, Great Spirit, for the love that you've given me in my life, the love you've given me at this moment. There's so many people who love me, so many people who care about me and support me. And if you don't feel like there's so many, even a few, that's really good. You have somebody who really cares about you and loves you. And what if we reframed all of our interactions as opportunities to deepen our capacity to give and receive love? I'm going to call all of my relationships healing relationships now, because I can dig deep inside me and find where the love lives and how to give it and how to receive it. We're going to make everyone our friend by seeing that all that wants to happen is a transaction of love. Every communication, every relationship is a love transaction. Even silently, that love is passing back and forth. So I sure love you. I sure appreciate you coming to this video series. I also appreciate the kind comments you make. I feel very loved, and this is my way of sharing my heart with you as I know you will pass along to others. So have a beautiful day. Love you lots, and we'll see you soon. Aloha.